Our severe weather season is just really starting to heat up. So how do you know if you're covered properly when it comes to that insurance? Don Tipps in to help us out today. Don, when we start, seeing these severe weather alerts and a lot of John Harris on the TV talking about these storms, that's a good time to think, do I have all my P's and Q's in place?
Yeah, that's right, Andy. Today our phone's been ringing off the hook for exactly that reason. It's good to know what is covered, what your limits are, that kind of thing obviously before the season.
Right.
And of course, you and I always preach that, but then when the storm actually bears down, I think that's what really triggers people to think, oh wow, I really need to go do this.
Right.
And you've got to be careful because a lot of companies, they won't let you change coverage when danger's imminent. Like when there is a storm like today,
right,
they'll freeze it and say, you know what, yes, this is what you need, but we can't change it until after the storm.
Right.
So you need to be very careful with that.
Okay, so as we go into this, how do we know if we're under or overinsured? I was trying to explain this to a friend. I said, like, overinsured is good. That's a good thing.
Well, yeah.
Being caught the other way is not so good.
Yes, for sure. We're also conscious about budget, which we should be. I make it a point to sit down with my clients to let them know we don't want them overinsured, right? Because we don't want them paying too much nobody wants to pay too much for insurance. Everybody hates insurance until they need it. Then they need it like, oh, that's the best thing in the world.
Don's my best friend. Don, what are you doing?
Until they're paying, then they're paying that bill. So, Andy, it's important to look and see, car insurance is easy. It fluctuates. Whatever the value of the car is, that's how much it is. So that's easy. Homes and property and that type of thing are very different, as you know. You've really got to look at it. And one thing I tell my clients to be careful of, we don't want to insure the lot, because worst case scenario, a tornado or a fire, you still own the dirt, right? You still own the dirt, so we don't want you overinsured. But like you said, we want to make sure that there's enough in the case of worst case scenario.
Right.
So when you say, how do you know, it literally takes sitting down, looking at it.
Not doing it online. Listen, it is sit down in front of an actual agent and say, here's what I got, help me out, as opposed to trying to just fill out a couple of things on the internet, get your stuff, and move on.
Right, because everything is different, Andy, and you know this well. Even in different neighborhoods in town, replacement costs or building costs are very different. Yeah. So we've got to make sure that no matter where you are, you can't say, well, this is where I lived and I moved over here. That replacement cost could be very different than where you came from. And
the key is taking inventory too, like right away. And we've preached this before on this show with Don about if you do have damage, take lots of pictures and video.
Yes, that is the ideal thing. The great thing about phones now is it's very easy to do, right? We don't have to have film, we don't have to have anything. Take pictures, and the easiest way to do an inventory is use your camera, use your phone, look through drawers and that kind of thing, because after an event, a big event, it really is difficult to remember what you have. I know it sounds crazy, but I was an adjuster before an agent, and I'm telling you, that was the hardest thing for people. They're like, it's traumatizing, and yet now they've got to figure out everything that is gone. It's very difficult.
We've also talked about being emergency prepared. Right now, if there's a storm coming in, what would you make sure that the people have with them?
I would say you have a flashlight, have your cell phone charger, depending on, if we've got electricity, that type of deal, water, and then a secure place to be. Know where you're going to go. Have a plan to know where you're going to go in the event of a tornado or a severe storm.
All right, and above all, be safe.
Yes.
Take care of you and yours. Make sure that that you're doing what has been talked about from our meteorologist and stories that we have covered here. Don, we appreciate you coming in. Thank you. And again, if you have any questions for Don Tipps, you can give him a call. Look him up online, dontipps.com. Not hard to find, which normally every 2 weeks you can see him right here. Don, we appreciate it. We've got more Studio 4 after this.